Hey guys, welcome back to Loft Sports. Completely gut-wrenching, disappointing, frustrating, irritating, infuriating, whatever you want to call it, loss to Oklahoma State in the Fiesta Bowl. And it's not that we lost. I mean, Oklahoma State's a really good team. They were literally 6 inches away from really making the playoff committee's job hard and making them pick between Oklahoma State, who had multiple top 10 wins to end the season and was a conference champion, or Cincinnati. But anyway, they were bailed out by that Baylor stop. But Oklahoma State's a good team. It's not that we lost. It's in the fashion that we lost. At least we didn't get blown out, but I mean, which is Notre Dame has a history of in these BCS/New Year's Six games, let's just be honest. But man, to dominate the first half, even that they scored at the end of the half, okay. It was weak defense, but you go up 28-14 at the half, and we're doing whatever we want on offense besides running the ball, but, hitting screens, misdirection, Cone had time, was no pressure, no turnovers, everything's working. Defense wasn't playing great, but they were getting stops. Come out in the second half, they go right down the field in like 5-6 plays effortlessly and score. Okay, we're still ahead. Get the ball, 3 and out. Defense gets a stop. Offense can't move the ball the entire second half. Everybody's going to blame the defense for this, and the defense did play like garbage, especially down the stretch, but they got 2 turnovers in the fourth quarter. They gave the ball back to the offense with a chance to score and take the lead when it was 31-28 and 34-28. I mean, they got the fumble on the goal line, which was a miracle, and then they got the fumble where they stripped Sanders and they blew it dead, but thankfully the replay booth made the right call and overturned it. Just Jack Cone is what he is. He's a decent passer, but under any pressure and any duress, he folds. And this is 2022 now in football in general. That's why in the NFL, you're not seeing any more Tom Brady's or Aaron Rodgers or Peyton Manning's. You're seeing a lot more Lamar Jacksons, Patrick Mahomes. These quarterbacks that are mobile, you've got to have a dual-threat quarterback. You just have to. You cannot have a pure one-trick pony pocket passer in college football if you're going to be a serious team. Unless you've got a Tom Brady and he's just ridiculous, but even then, you've got to have an offensive line that can protect him, and that's hard to get in college football. It's got to all come together for you. It's really frustrating. When we get pressure on Spencer Sanders and the pocket collapses, he steps up through the pocket and runs for 20 yards. He did it 4 or 5 times in the second half. Even if he gets 6 or 7 yards, it's better than taking an 8-yard sack or just having to throw the ball away. It gives the defense something else to consider, and then you've got to keep a linebacker or a safety up near the line of scrimmage as a spy, and it takes away from your coverage. There's just and there's so many things that I can get into, but I don't want this video to be 3 hours long. This was just a complete collapse. Now, I'm not going to blame Marcus Freeman. It's his first game as a head coach. Obviously, he got out-coached in the second half. Mike Gundy's been coaching at Oklahoma State for 15, 20 years. He made adjustments. Marcus Freeman, in his first game as a head coach, wasn't able to figure out the adjustment. And, I'm not – this changes nothing about the future of Notre Dame. It's not – this doesn't mean we were going to win a national championship next year if we won this game 56-0. It doesn't mean we're going to go 6-6 next year had we lost this game 56-0. This game has zero impact on 2022. The recruiting is essentially in place. No recruit is going to decommit because of a 2-point loss in the Fiesta Bowl to a top 10 team. This just proves and solidifies what I had been saying all year, that Notre Dame should not have been in the college football playoff. Cincinnati got creamed yesterday. Michigan got absolutely embarrassed. Georgia and Alabama are the 2 best teams. I've said it all year. Notre Dame didn't belong in the playoff because of that offensive line and because of Jack Cone's immobility. And I was proven correct one last time. Now, it would have been nice to finally win a damn New Year's Six Bowl and go out with a 12-win season and feel really good and everything going into the spring. At the end of the day, it doesn't – I want to break things and slam my TV, but I'm not going to, because at the end of the day, it is a meaningless bowl game. It's not completely meaningless, but for the most part, it's not a playoff win. Yes, it would have been nice to finally win a BCS/New Year's Six bowl, but listen, that's going to come eventually. It's going to come eventually. It is frustrating to blow a 21-point lead. Completely dominant in the first half, doing whatever we want offensively. Defense was playing very well up until that last drive of the second half, and then Oklahoma State said, you know what? That receiver, that number one, I can't even think of his name now. We couldn't cover him. Lewis looked lost out there. He couldn't cover an infant child with a blanket for a queen-size bed. I mean, my man was just completely outmatched. We couldn't give him any safety help. Kyle Hamilton not playing. That would have been nice to have. No run gain on the offensive side. No Kyron Williams playing. No Kyron Williams to pick up blitzes. I thought Tyree and Diggs did a good job. Diggs had that costly fumble there in the second half when the offense was finally starting to move the ball, and Diggs fumbles. But listen, a great season, 11-2, a New Year's Six bowl in a quote-unquote rebuild year. Let's not burn the house down over this loss. Yes, it's frustrating. Yes, it's infuriating. It's depressing, demoralizing. We'll regroup. We'll have a new game with Ohio State in September to open the season. I still have all the faith in Marcus Freeman. This game changes nothing about my belief in him or my optimism for the future. Jack Cohn is gone. This is Tyler Buckner's team moving forward, which we didn't see him today. Maybe he wasn't active. I don't know. But I was surprised we didn't have any other quarterbacks come in and at least run something different to give them a different look, especially in the second half when it was clear we were struggling to move the ball. Even Drew Pine, it would have been nice to see come in for, maybe not even a series, but a couple plays. But anyway, just it is what it is. I mean, I guess the victory we'll have to settle for is we didn't lose this game by 20 points like we always do in these big bowl games, going back to when I was 5-6 years old and could remember. So, yeah, it sucks. I wanted to win this game. I really wanted to win this game, and I thought it was very winnable. And for the first half of the game, it looked certainly that way. And defense just wore down. Oklahoma State made adjustments, and we didn't. But anyway, 11-2. Rebuild season, have a great recruiting class coming in. I still have all the belief in Marcus Freeman, optimism. This will be a good learning experience for Marcus Freeman. You got to make halftime adjustments, and maybe this will humble him a little bit more than we know. I'm not saying he needed to be humbled by any stretch, but maybe this is that kind of lesson where he'll keep that fire, and this will fuel him all off season, and the guys coming back, and maybe they'll band together, and this will set the stage for an incredible run into next season. You never know. I mean, obviously you want to win your last game of the season. You never want to lose it, but it just is what it is. What's done is done. Oklahoma State's a good team. At least we made them earn it, I guess. They had to come back. They had to make adjustments. They got a great team. They got a lot of seniors on that team. And I got a lot of respect for Mike Gundy. So, anyway, we'll see you next year. This is Tyler with Loft Sports signing off. Go Irish.